It's October 20th. I just happened to replay the Doom Eternal campaign recently, just reached Phobos and got to see that badass cutscene with the player strutting his junk around some nerds again, when my game started acting up. Turns out there was a 10 GB update. Oh shit, first DLC dropped. A day later, I haven't actually played it yet, I want to finish replaying the campaign first, but here's why I'm making this video. I knew Mick wasn't on board anymore after some bullshit, which I'd argue was, as much as I love the dude, mostly his ego's fault, but I'm digressing. I watched the trailer for the DLC and you know, the music was not quite Mick Gordon stuff, but it was okay, nice riffs, good metal, you know, 7 out of 10 I'd say. So I wanted to know who actually made the music, and holy fucking shit, it's Andrew Hulshult. Now, for you kids out there that haven't heard of this top-tier lad, let me educate you a little bit and maybe make you understand why I was pretty excited about it and why you should be at least a little bit relieved about who took over the reins of Mick Gordon. Andrew Hulshult, purebred Texan, started making music, mostly metal, like anyone really as a hobby. Eventually he started making tracks for fan projects of various games. First for a Duke 3D remake which got cancelled, but due to that project landed his first commercial gig, making the music for 2013's Rise of the Triad. Not really a good game if you ask me, but it was hardly in his control. The music holds up. After that, if I got my timeline correct that is, he went on to make a few more fan projects, most relevant in this context, classic Doom. My man made what I consider the best versions of the classic tracks. Just fucking shredded his heart out. He is and always was a fan of the classic FPS genre, also remaking some Quake tracks. If you've ever played the mod Brutal Doom, you've heard his music before. They used those remakes of the classic tracks. He also worked on a game called Bombshell, you could say the prequel to Ion Fury, the build engine game that came out in 2018. But the less said about Bombshell, the better. A little further down the timeline, Dave Oshry, one of the devs of Rise of the Triad, eventually formed his own studio, New Blood Interactive. Who went on to make some fucking bangers like Medieval, but what more of you probably have heard of, Dusk. That retro-looking shooter that old-school FPS nerds like to rant about how good it is. Well, they aren't fucking wrong, it's a great fucking game, but what elevates it is Andrew's soundtrack. Because yes, he made all of the music in those two games as well, and they fucking slap. Later this same year, he worked on his first id Software title, Quake Champions. That game that I have no clue how well it is doing because I literally haven't met anyone in my life who played it yet. But once again, music's on point. Then he worked on some other projects I'm not too familiar with, so I won't go into it. Wrath, Aeon of Ruins, or Proteus. What's almost more important to me is that he kept making fan music, just as a creator, just for fun. True passion behind what he does. Respectable fucker, that. And now we're getting to 2020. Doom Eternal is getting its first DLC, and there he was. The man that started out making Doom music for fun, as a fan of the series, as a passionate musician, getting the fucking job to make an official Doom soundtrack. And to me that's kind of beautiful. Yes, I will be the first to admit nothing ever on this fucking planet can replace Mick Gordon for a Doom soundtrack. I'm not even kidding when I say I literally bought Doom 2016 because of the music. That's what got me hooked in the first place. But if you have to choose a successor, someone to do it right, a lifelong Doom fan who has a track record of producing absolute bangers and will shred his fucking heart out because he's a true passionate fan, man, I think Andrew's the man. I was damn excited when I found out he's working on this DLC. And I hope this video sufficiently explains why, and I hope if you were critical of the game's music because it wasn't Mick, that at least you can get an appreciation for the man who has to fill Mick's shoes. I, for one, am just kind of really happy for Andrew. Thanks for watching.